Hi, I'm Darren and welcome to New Factory Classics. Today we're going to discuss Batman Caped Crusader. Over the last few days I've sat down and watched Batman Caped Crusader. And while I did no research on the show prior to seeing it, the only thing that I had heard about it was the Penguin having a gender swap. And while that was an interesting choice for the show, I really had no issues with them choosing to do that. The show is from Bruce Timm, the same man that brought us Batman the Animated Series in the 90s. And because this has a similar animation style, I just assumed that it was going to be a reboot or some sort of sequel to that show. But this series takes place in a 1940s Gotham. No cell phones, no gadgets, no internet. In fact, in this series, Bruce is in his first few years of being Batman. And it definitely shows, because sometimes he makes major mistakes with his detective work, or even treats the criminally insane not the way you would expect Batman to do so. One thing that's made clear, especially in the earlier episodes, Batman is far from perfect in this universe. Like always, Batman is assisted by Alfred, but they have no computer to work on, just a giant map and their brains. There are several other helpful characters throughout the show. Police Chief Gordon is a main character in the show, and while he doesn't trust Batman, he definitely comes to rely on him in the later episodes. Barbara Gordon, his daughter, is a public defender and constantly going up against DA Harvey Dent. Harvey himself is actually running for mayor, and we'll see that play out in the later episodes. And finally, Detective Montoya is Police Chief Gordon's right-hand woman who knows how to handle herself in a fight. And while many of the episodes are Villain of the Week style, there are several multi-episode arcs, including the final arc that takes place over the final 3 episodes. And while I won't go episode by episode, let's talk about the premiere a little bit. This was the episode with the gender swap Penguin, and frankly the one with the most chatter online. My issue had nothing to do with the Penguin choice. My problem with this episode is that it should never have been the premiere. There were way too many characters and way too many storylines for a premiere episode of a TV show. When the audience watches a premiere of a show, they're trying to feel out what their characters are going to be like. What is this Batman like, this Alfred like, this Police Chief Gordon like? And this show premieres with an episode that has 5 additional characters, and you don't know if you're supposed to care or pay attention to their storylines. Heck, the Penguin herself doesn't even appear in the rest of the season. This should have been an episode 3 or 4, way after the premiere. Here's how the premiere of Batman Caped Crusader should have gone. You open up with the cops chasing Batman. They're infuriated that a vigilante is still on the loose in their town. You have some sort of B storyline where Harvey Dent and Barbara are going against each other in court. Your main story is all the detectives, including Gordon, chasing down some sort of serial killer. Eventually, the serial killer gets the upper hand and is about to kill them until Batman saves their lives. The episode ends with them talking about the bat that they've been chasing having saved them from certain death, and them coming to the realization that their lives are different now that a vigilante is in town. And there's a proper starter episode for you. You get introduced to all the characters, how they act, how they respond to each other, and them coming to deal with the fact that the Batman is here to stay. You could even start having Villain of the Week ideas in episode 2. Overall, the show got really good in the second half of the season, especially around episode 6 or 7, but it's a really slow burn up until then. The final arc of the last 3 episodes is awesome, sad, and overall incredibly satisfying. If the entire show was like that, it would have deserved an Emmy, but unfortunately the first half had a lot of sleepers or episodes that were bogged down with too many side characters. What are my expectations for Season 2? Well, in the final scene of Season 1, we know who's coming to be the main villain for the next season. Plus, there are a lot of villains from the first season that survived, and many more in the Batman mythos that can be introduced. I'd really like to see Barbara putting on a cape at one point. She's definitely going in that direction. Or maybe introduce some sort of Robin in Season 2. But it was nice that we got a single season of just Batman alone. Batman Caped Crusader Season 1. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Go watch it on Amazon Prime. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.